Okay, so it's been a long time since I did any sort of update video on my like Paludarium and various other various other tanks. We moved, and so they all, all of our plants, especially the more sensitive ones, both my partner's lithops and my heliumphora, and various other tropical plants, they took hits. Most upsetting, one of my heliumphora died completely, it looks like. And the other two suffered pretty serious losses. It got pretty dry in here. When we first moved in, it was just hectic, and this new house is much drier than our old house. And therefore, this tank is drier, and that's just something I always really took for granted was a really high ambient humidity. And so the heliumphora didn't like that decrease in, and for a while, for like not too long. I don't think it was long enough to affect them at all. But for like a week or so, the lighting wasn't adequate during the moving process. But hopefully they'll bounce back. These two I know will bounce back. Well, I'm pretty sure will bounce back. And then the third one, I don't know if that guy will bounce back. Um, Hold on, my chickens are making a noise. They make like alarm noises, so we check on them because sometimes it's like they're getting eaten. There's one of the frogs. The frogs have also been much shyer since the move. Maybe it's just because of the decrease in humidity. Maybe it's because of the stress of the move. But I don't see nearly as much of them. I haven't seen nearly as much of them, I should say. But overall, the tank is still doing really good, looking really nice. The Peperomia Prostrata, the string of turtles as it's called, looks exactly the way I wanted it to. You could just see it's like spilling over everything and just really gives it a cool look to the floor of the tank. My Carnivorous Bromeliads are doing well. The Catopsis Peperomia or whatever. I can't remember the species name. But that one's... Oh no, that's this one. I'm sorry. This is the Catopsis Peperomia or whatever. And this is the Bronchina reducta. And so they're both doing pretty good. This one actually has two pups growing, so that's pretty cool. So that'd be cool if I had a lot more of this. If this one made some pups as well, that would be awesome. Though I hear that this species doesn't... Oh, there's one of the other frogs. They don't form pups or make pups as readily. I think they just are known to make like one pup to replace them, to replace the parent plant when it dies. But that's just something I read somewhere, so I don't know how true that is. Man, look at that area back there. That is so sick. So I'm really pleased with all my plant choices. Of course, I had most of these in like another tank that I set up to see the look. But you could see the Staragine repens, I believe. How it's like, this is actually generally sold as an aquatic plant, but when it's grown in high enough humidity, it also suffered during the move. But when it's grown in high enough humidity, it will grow terrestrially. So it looks really cool on the small leaf size, and the way it like grows tucked up underneath stuff looks nice. Yeah, the Peperomia Prostrata looks good. Really like all my... Glass is kind of dirty up there. But all my bromeliads I like, and the passion vine. Give me a second and I'll tell you the name. Passiflora suborosa. That one. Oh yeah, I got a fan dangling just because I turned that fan off because it was so dry in the house, but then it fell. Like the fans, I just used super glue because originally it's temporary, but I just ended up leaving it in there. So it's dangling right now, and I haven't gotten to it. Don't at me. But anyways, the passion vine is cool the way it's grown, but it's like maybe some sort of deficiency. You can see it doesn't look too healthy, and it's super bright in here. It doesn't really like the brightness. That's also why the string of turtles is like kind of washed out. And that's also why the whatever it's called, the something carolinensis, whatever, the floating plant, that's why it's so red. It's the Azolla Carolinensis or something like that. It's because it's super bright, but that looks really pretty. The plants that like and or need the bright light, they look cool. That's why all the bromeliads are so colored up. But the plants that generally don't like the light, you know, they don't look as good and are not as happy. But such is life. They're not the primary, you know, like apart from the dart frogs, the tank is kind of like obviously geared towards the highlight plants. Khan is causing havoc. He's doing good. Not as sedated. His sedatives wore off. I have to give him his sedatives. But also we have, so my partner had a massive spider in here. Not massive, but pretty big. It was a tarantula, Tillicatotl or whatever, alba pilosum, the curly-haired spider or a tarantula or whatever. And it died like a month ago or so. It was very sad. She'd had it for a very long time. And so the tank was just sitting for a while, but now it's kind of used as an overflow tank for some of my bromeliads. But it looks pretty good. We did the background together when we first met, and it's always been my one of my favorite backgrounds that I've ever done. Oh, the frogs are out. Two of them there. And we have a couple ant colonies. Well, we have one Formica dolosa ant colony in here. I think it's like permanently taped on this thing just because it's like wintertime, so they're not. But, and then a Camponotus castaneus queen in the left one. Con, stop it. Stop. We usually don't let the animals in this room, but I left the door open. And then we have the whatever they're called, Pac-Man Frogs. Oh, they're both in here. You can see big guy and Con is making so. But we have big guy, and there's, can't see him, there's too much plants in there. But that's also kind of an overflow tank for plants and stuff, but it also has my Pac-Man Frogs. And then my trapjaw colony also has that Passiflora suberosa, the corky stem passion vine, and Walter's violet, which is a cool native plant. So this is like a native setup. It's kind of overgrown right now. Let me see if any of the ants are out. Yeah, they're out. There's lots of them. So this is pretty old now. This is gonna be like 4 years old soon or something like that. But doing good, going strong. It's like my favorite tank. I just dump bloodworms in there pretty regularly. And then we have my partner's lithops. It's a mess in here still. Obviously, we're still unpacking. But that's my partner's like lithops, and that's also my spider, my whatever Carabana versicolor, and all her lithops, and some bromeliads that are just kind of like just there because we don't have space. But that's all the animals, and that's all the stuff we have going on. And that's my little update. Thanks.